Hey everyone, Mr. DVB here. In today's video, I'm going to be counting down my top 5 most anticipated games of 2020. Overall, 2020 is looking to be a great year for video games. I found 2019 to be quite underwhelming, to be honest. There were a few titles I picked up that I had fun with, but overall, it was kind of a dry year. This year, on the other hand, is like the ocean. It's just filled with games that I cannot wait to pick up day one. So many, in fact, that I'm actually going to have 2 honorable mentions before I get onto my real top 5 list. So without further ado, let's talk about those 2 games. My first honorable mention is going to be for the Resident Evil 3 remake. I'm honestly surprised they're making a 3rd remake this quickly, since the 2nd game's remake came out only a year ago. My guess is that this game is going to have the exact same graphic style and a lot of the same assets from the 2nd game. The gameplay is probably going to be exactly the same, so I can understand why it didn't take them as long to make this one as it did for the 2nd. Who knows, maybe they were developing both of them at the exact same time. Overall, though, I had a really fun time playing the 2nd game. It was actually my first time experiencing that game. I hadn't played the original version or anything like that, so it was a fresh experience for me, and I thought it was very fun. The gameplay was good, it was intense, and I'm expecting kind of the exact same thing from the 3rd game, if not even more intense, because I hear that the villain Nemesis is very, very scary, and I look forward to that, so I'll be picking up that game day 1 when it releases in April. My next honorable mention is going to be for Avengers A-Day. Now, to be completely honest, I'm a bit iffy on this game right now. I'm intrigued by it, but I don't think it looks particularly amazing or anything like that, hence why it's not on my list. I am a big Marvel fan, so the fact that they're making an Avengers game is really awesome, but I just don't know how I feel about it so far. The character models don't look very good. That's something that a lot of people have been talking about. The gameplay looks pretty simple for the most part, if not a little bit clunky, which is something I kind of feel is common with Square Enix games. Felt the exact same way with the Tomb Raider remakes, that the gameplay was clunky. And overall, I think it's a little bit odd that they're including microtransactions in it and all these cosmetic options. I'm happy that there's gonna be cosmetic options, you know, switch things up a little bit and change your outfits every once in a while, but I don't know how I feel about them integrating, you know, microtransactions into the game. I hear that it is going to be like multiplayer co-op, which is kind of cool, so if you can play with friends, I'm sure that'll make the experience even more enjoyable. But yeah, as of right now, I'm not entirely sold on the game. I will be picking it up though, however, when it releases in September. Now, those 2 games out of the way, let's talk about my actual top 5 list. These are the games that I cannot wait to play in 2020. My number 5 pick is going to be Doom Eternal. Now, I had a ton of fun with the 2016 Doom game. That was just a total blast from start to finish. One of the best shooters I've ever played, in my opinion. It was so awesome running around and just brutally killing all these demons in some really gory and messed up ways. And Doom Eternal looks to be an even better game, in my opinion. You have an even bigger variety of enemies and an even bigger variety of environments. The first game only took place on Mars and sometimes in Hell. This game has a massive variety. You can return to Hell, obviously, and it looks a lot different in this game. It's more nighttime and kind of castle-esque looking. You also have the moon that you can visit. You can go on this big spaceship, which looks really fun, and you can go to Earth, which is kind of morphing with Hell. So there's a bunch of elements from Hell being carried over to Earth, and it just looks like it's going to be really fun with that huge variety of locations. Friends can also invade your game now and try to kill you as demons, which I think is a really cool aspect that I look forward to playing. So yeah, overall, I'm looking forward to Doom Eternal quite a bit. I think it's going to be a blast. My number 4 pick is Ghost of Tsushima. This is the newest game from developer Sucker Punch. They have not made a game since Infamous Second Son, which was released back in 2014. So they've been working on this game for a very long time, and everything I've seen so far, you know, tells you why they've been working on this game for so long. It looks like it's going to be amazing. I haven't played Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, but it gives a similar vibe to that game. Obviously, 2 very different styles, but just the setting. I mean, this game looks gorgeous. The trailer they released a few months ago that gave us the general release date just had so many, you know, beautiful locations in it, riding your horse through these amazing lands of Japan. I think it's going to be a really amazing experience, and honestly, I'm not going to be surprised if it ends up being Sucker Punch's best game, because their games always have great gameplay, but I don't feel like story has ever been their strong suit. I think that might change with this game. I don't know too much about the premise, but I believe the idea is that you play as a soldier who was killed in war, who has come back to life, or at least he was sought to be dead, and you're getting revenge. I don't know, I think it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. The graphics are amazing, like I said, and the gameplay just looks like it's going to be really cool, fighting all these guys and killing them in really brutal ways, so cannot wait to pick up this game in summer 2020. Number 3 is going to be kind of a surprising pick. I know this is a lot of people's number 1, but for me, number 3 is Cyberpunk 2077. CD Projekt Red has made some fantastic games. I think Witcher 3 is one of the best open world games I have ever played, and I haven't even really scratched the surface on that game. I've played about maybe 6 or so hours of it, but from what I've played, it's a great game. I definitely have to finish that before Cyberpunk comes out. But Cyberpunk looks like it's going to be just another great open world experience. Seeing CD Projekt Red work on this futuristic, kind of neo-noirish game, I don't know, I think it looks really cool. The idea of, futuristic people that enhance their bodies with different types of technology looks really cool. I'm looking forward to playing it a lot. You also have Keanu Reeves in the game, which is a huge selling point in its own way. And yeah, I look forward to just the vast variety of gameplay styles that this game's going to offer, because from what I've seen, the gameplay looks really cool in this game. You can slow down time and all these other abilities when you enhance your character and that kind of stuff. And I think the aspect I'm most excited for is just the open world, because they do a great job, CD Projekt Red, when it comes to creating these amazing, whether it's like mystical lands or, in this case, futuristic flying cars and all that kind of stuff. I think it's going to be really cool to just go through this world, and that's what I'm looking forward to the most with Cyberpunk 2077, which comes out in September. Number 2, I know this is kind of a funny pick, but number 2 for me is going to be LEGO Star Wars The SKYWALKER SAGA. When this game was announced, I was really excited. At that point, I didn't really know what to expect from it, because LEGO in the past few years has made some really disappointing games. They've definitely lost their touch of quality ever since, like, the Harry Potter games, I'd say. They've had a few great ones along the way, like Marvel Superheroes, but overall, they definitely don't make good games anymore. That being said, it seems like they're putting a ton of work into the Skywalker Saga. Not only are we getting all the 9 Skywalker Saga films, I'm a little bit disappointed we're not getting the spin-offs, but it's open world, and you can fly from planet to planet. I remember thinking that would be really cool when they announced this game, but I just didn't see them doing that, and then they said that they were doing it, and that right there is the aspect I'm most looking forward to. The fact that it's massive open world, you can fly from planet to planet, and while you're flying from planet to planet, a Star Destroyer can come out of hyperspace and start attacking you, and all of a sudden you're going to be forced to fight it, or you can flee. That just sounds so awesome. I think LEGO is good at, making really fun games with great levels, at least in the past they were, and I feel like this game is obviously going to have that, but on top of that, it seems like they're putting a ton of work into the open world environment, having all these different interactions, things that happen while you're playing your game that I feel like are going to be some of the highlights. So I cannot wait for the Skywalker Saga to release, and we don't even have any gameplay yet, which is kind of annoying. I feel like they should release gameplay very, very soon so we can see what this game looks like. The graphics engine I think is also updated. It looks really good for a LEGO game from what I've seen, so yeah, I cannot wait to pick up this game. No release date yet, it's just 2020. I think it's probably going to be coming out, around May or so. That's kind of my guess right now. I think May the 4th would be a great release date, but we'll see. But yeah, really looking forward to this game, and I cannot wait to pick it up. Alright, here we are, guys, my number 1 most anticipated game of 2020. If you know me, then you probably already know what my pick is. It is The Last of Us Part 2. Naughty Dog, for those who do not know, is my favorite game developer of all time. They created my favorite franchise, the Uncharted games. I love that series so much, and I also love the first Last of Us from 2013. I've played it countless times. I actually just finished playing it on Grounded mode. Basically, the game has easy, normal, hard, survivor, and Grounded is, without a doubt, the hardest video game experience I've ever had. I started it a few months back and got stuck at this one section, just stopped playing it, and finally got past that and just beat the game yesterday. So playing it on Grounded, oh boy, what an experience. But yeah, I cannot wait for The Last of Us Part 2. It takes place 5 years after the events of the first game. It's releasing 7 years after the first game, which is crazy. One thing that sucks is that this game literally would have been out Friday if it wasn't delayed. It would have been out this week, and that makes me want to cry. Because, I am so excited for this game. Once they announced it in 2016, I could not wait. This is actually the first time I've ever pre-ordered a collector's edition for a game. I've never spent that much money on a game. I believe it ended up costing me like $650 Canadian, so I put a lot of money into this. I trust Naughty Dog, though. They've never let me down, and I highly doubt they're going to let me down with Last of Us 2. The gameplay we've seen so far just looks incredible. The graphics are beautiful as always. Naughty Dog is always the best developer for just pushing games even further with every game they make as far as graphics go. Gameplay looks fantastic, seamlessly moving in and out of, these different things. And I know that the chances are that's going to be, not as cool as it was in the trailer, that it's probably not going to turn out like that. But I don't know. I still think the gameplay is going to be smooth as hell. The graphics are obviously incredible, and I just can't wait for this game. We're playing as Ellie in it, obviously, which at first, you know, annoyed me back in 2016. Didn't annoy me, I loved playing as Joel, but really, when you think about it, Joel's story was told with the first Last of Us. The whole idea of this man who lost his daughter, and then finds a new daughter in Ellie, and ends up, you know, possibly risking the, you know, savior of humanity, just so that he can have a daughter. That was a great story. And Last of Us Part 2, I don't know if it's going to match the story of the first one emotionally, but I think that, you know, it's going to be a better game graphically and gameplay-wise, obviously. Don't quite know about story-wise, but I think they're going to do a great job, and I cannot wait to see Ellie's story this time around. So there you go, guys. Those are my top 5 most anticipated games of 2020. No, I was not choking up or crying when I was talking about The Last of Us there. I just had 2 awful voice cracks, but whatever. Yeah, cannot wait for this year, for the games to come out, especially Last of Us, though. I mean, it's coming out May 29th, which isn't too far away from now, but just the fact that it would have been out this week, that does make me want to cry. But yeah, cannot wait. I will be reviewing all of these games when I get them, by the way. There's a few games from last year I got that I didn't end up reviewing. Days Gone, Death Stranding, and Star Wars that I do have to talk about, but that'll happen eventually. Thanks for watching this video as always, guys, and I will see you next time. Bye.